Hello, everybody. Welcome to Otter Podcast. I'm Drew Walker, and my co-host today is Mr. Ryan Mitchell. How are you doing, bud? How you doing?
I'm great. Why do I got to be the co-host? Why can't I be the host?
Because I said so. It's my house, damn it. My rules. Just kidding, but anyway.
Okay. Still like the other intro we did better.
Whatever. This is a real intro, fans. All of you. All three of you. I want to do a special shout out to Valerie Walker. Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Can I shout out to my friends who aren't listening?
Shout out to my cat, Sydney.
Sydney's also our fan on Facebook.
That's right, folks. You can follow us at Farting Otter on Facebook.
Farting?
Farting Otter. That's right, folks. I can't speak. I haven't even drank yet.
I haven't even had any liquor.
Speaking of liquor...
Yeah, great segue.
I had something.
I was taking a drink, and I thought you had something important to say. Wow, this is going good. We're a minute and a half into this, and
okay, so
and we're just gonna stare blankly at each other. It's like, oh, that's
all
great.
Right, so guys, this podcast, we really don't know what we stand for. Things that are furry and manimal can swim, and they can also fart and have gas. I think that's what we're going to talk about. Maybe some pop culture things, some burping, of course. That's always important.
You got to throw in some disgusting man joke or something in there, so that way, all the frat boys that want to be cool are like, "Oh, these guys are hilarious. Did you hear that burp or farting joke? It's fucking hilarious." No. But yeah, we're random podcasts on whatever the hell pops into our head, really. That's kind of the idea. That is the general idea.
Yeah, that's the general idea. It's basically a one-upmanship contest. I'll throw in a random subject. We'll debate about it for a while. Then talk about it, shake hands, be all friendly. Then one of us will be a dick and bring something else up. Then we'll yell at each other for a while. And the process continues for like 50 minutes, and then we're done.
And then eventually we'll be like, oh, we're out of time. Look at that. Oh, we gotta go. No, but the general consensus here is that Drew and I have random conversations about nothing. And it's nothing important, but we both feel so strongly about it that we'll fucking go back and forth forever. So we decided. It's
basically a Kevin Smith movie in real life. I mean, look, I'm fat, I have a beard. Ryan's like Jay, he's like, fuck that, I don't like it. Uh-oh. I think we killed Ryan. I think it's just me.
Yeah, I don't cuss. So.
Oh, yeah.
This is a wholesome show for
This
the
is
kids.
G. This is G, kids.
Bring the kids.
Ryan, you're being a dummy right now.
Don't be such a poopy head.
Ryan, why don't you please shut the front door? It's kind of chilly out that side.
Yeah, you know how I feel about political correctness and shit.
I'm 21, he's 31, we're adults. We're going to use some adult language, so if you have a 7-year-old...
preview warning thing in the video of this, so I'm not worried about that.
Content, don't watch this if you're a kid. But if you are a kid...
Now that we're about 5 minutes into this, the kids' minds are warped. They're going to go home and be like, Mommy, what's a fuck?
I don't know, sweetie. Why don't you go in my room?
What the hell are you listening to? Oh, jeez.
Anyway.
So, I don't know. What?
So anyway, Ryan, I think we should do like a general introduction. Alright, Ryan, what kind of hobbies, likes, what do you like?
I don't like anybody or anything. No. Well, general hobbies. I'm mediocre gamer, music, movies. I try to be a nerd for the most part. huge Batman nerd, as you know. Obviously, you know.
And he loves Ben Affleck, guys. Best casting decision, Ryan Mitchell, 2012.
I quit. This podcast is over. Oh, jeez, I fucking hate Ben Affleck. Oh, I hate Ben Affleck. Hate Ben Affleck. I hate Ben Affleck. Sorry, Ben Affleck. If you're listening, fuck you.
Yeah, he doesn't like Ben Affleck. Just in case you didn't know.
Did anybody catch that he doesn't actually like Ben Affleck? Go ahead, yell at Sydney.
Get off the couch. Table.
Sorry, my cat is on the table.
Sydney wants to be in the podcast too.
Yeah, and
he's got very important insights on Ben Affleck.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sydney the cat. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Sydney.
He's British Australian.
Fucking hate Ben Affleck. He's such an asshole. All right, Sydney. Go eat some catnip or something. All right.
Sydney's been on the catnip again. He's kind of but yeah, okay, so that's the general consensus of me, what I kind of do. We'll get it. I mean, I'm sure everybody will, if we do more of these, people will actually get a general consensus of who we are. But why don't you go ahead and throw some shit out there about you?
Alright, guys, my name's Drew, and I'm an alcoholic. Not really, I don't drink that much. But anyway, like I said, I love movies, love talking about movies, love comics, like some video games. I haven't been playing as much as I should. But anyway, let's go ahead and throw it out there. I'm a Marvel fanboy, he's a DC fanboy. So I'll be saying stuff like, Spider-Man's the best! And Ron's like, fuck you, I like Batman, he's dark and gritty.
Well, yeah, my DC fan base is basically based around Batman himself, because like I said, I'm a huge Batman nerd. I mean, I love Batman and almost everything around it. I do have other DC shit that I like, and I do like Marvel just as Drew does like DC.
I do like DC,
but it's just we have our favorites, and a lot of times we disagree. Justice League is far superior to the Avengers, but whatever.
Yeah, I disagree, but
that's because you're retarded.
Well, it's Earth's mightiest heroes.
Yeah, on a universe where Batman doesn't exist, so whatever.
Well, that's pretty much some of my feelings on Marvel and DC. It's like Marvel has X-Men. Okay, I love X-Men. That's my favorite comic series. We have Spider-Man. We have Thor. We have Cap. What else? We have Daredevil.
So
we have Silver Surfer.
Avengers, you have
Guardians
X-Men.
of the Galaxy. I love all the random characters.
I
and
look
DC.
At Marvel. I look at Marvel as the popular kid comics.
Dude,
and then you've got DC for the more sophisticated, smarter nerd.
Okay, Ryan, you realize in the 60s, right? When Batman is Rainbow Batman, Superman's hanging out with his horse and his spider, whatever the hell animal of the week.
What? Stan
Lee said, let's make our heroes dysfunctional. Let's make them realistic. And that's the Marvel method, folks.
Yes,
and DC...
let's make them realistic. We've got a guy that can stretch his entire body, an invisible woman, a human torch, and a giant rock.
Okay.
Oh, and Guardians of the Galaxy are so realistic, too. I mean, jeez.
Dude,
yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy is amazing.
A radioactive spider bit me. Now I've got spider powers.
No.
That's realistic too. Because you won't die of radiation poison.
Well, freaking DC, it's like magic. I got magic powers. I'm an alien. I have powers. It's like nobody can beat me. And then you have everyone's like, here's my sidekick. Here's my other sidekick. Here's my other sidekick who happens to be a flying horse. Here's one that's a flying dog.
Okay, well, let's go with the whole, realistic shit. You've got the DC world where you've got aliens or overpowered superheroes, as you like to say.
Yep.
And then you got one human being who they're afraid of. The Batman.
Well, see, I love Batman. He's a great character. But here's the problem with DC. It's like, Batman is better than everybody.
Yep.
I feel like Marvel's more leveled. I mean, you have people, you have Thor, you have Hulk, they're superpower. Then you got the smart guys. You got your Iron Man, you got your Hank Pym, you got your Mr. Fantastic. Whereas in DC, it's like, okay, Dr. Fate's magic, Batman's human, Superman's God. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Superman is just super from Krypton.
No, he's so overrated, dude. Whatever.
He's overpowered. I wouldn't say he's overrated.
He's not relatable. Because then you can argue. Okay, Superman represents America back in the day. Marvel has that. We have
Captain America. Yeah.
But Captain America is the best a human can be. He's a great guy. And before he even got his, the super serum, he was already a good guy.
Super serum. Why don't you call it what it really is? Call it what it really is.
Super soldier formula, Ryan.
Okay, call it what it really is.
Well, okay,
Huh?
We'll Google that. We'll Google that.
You know what it's really called? Fucking steroids. He's a juicer. The government's like, hey, we've got this new experimental drug that's gonna, make you stronger. Here. I'm strong! Hulk smash. Oh, wait, that was a different.
Yeah.
Oh, that was gamma radiation.
See, Ryan's a DC fanboy. He doesn't know his Hulk from
Captain America.
Captain America.
I'm totally retarded on that.
Oh, unless for like the Ultimate Comics, which we won't even fucking get into, where everything's
I'm just saying, Captain America's a juicer.
Whatever. Batman has mommy and daddy issues, and he hangs around with young boys. So I mean, if you break down every superhero, we can think of terrible things about him.
You can always think of terrible, like fucking Iron Man's an alcoholic. Hawkeye just sucks.
Hawkeye is awesome. Fuck you.
I can shoot a bow and arrow. I'm gonna shoot a bow and arrow at a god. That's gonna do something. You're a fucking idiot.
He can do more. In the comic books, he's a pretty cool guy. I admit, in the movie, he was very underutilized. Next movie, they're giving him more screen time. You're gonna be like, Hawkeye is fucking cool. I mean, he's kind of like Nightwing in a way.
Okay, no.
He grew up in a circus. He learned acrobatics. He learned how to be. He's like the best bow and arrow guy, but he can also use swords and other things too. What I like about him is...
Hold on, I'm going to stop you right there for just a second, because you just brought up a very good debatable point. Hawkeye or Green Arrow? Who's the better archer?
Hawkeye. Well, actually, we'll take... Hawkeye is like good deadly accuracy with pretty much any weapon besides in a bow. Now, Green Arrow, he's pretty much bow and arrow. That's all. I mean, that's his thing. Hawkeye does that too, but he's also good at swords. And I mean, if you read the history of the character, Clinton Barton, Hawkeye. He's been Hawkeye. He was Ronin for a while. Who, kind of based on like the Ronin, like samurai mythology. So he used a sword and used a bow and arrow. He also had like Hank Pym had the Pym part. Oh, yeah, guys, I'm probably boarding you with my nerdum. So folks, Ryan fell asleep. All right.
Yeah, it's definitely not because I only had 3 hours of sleep today.
Alright, so I guess we're kind of on this topic. Ryan, who would your top 5 comic book superheroes can be? We can do top 5 DC, top 5 Marvel guys and gals, or just all together.
Now you're going to actually make me think?
Yeah.
Well, we all know what my number 1 would be.
Oh.
That's
Superman, of course.
Yeah, I'm going to punch you.
No, Ben Affleck, not Batman.
Now I'm going to stab you. I'm not going to punch you. I'm going to fucking stab you. God, nothing can destroy somebody's fandom like Ben Affleck or George Clooney.
Or Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, but I digress.
Are we going like just favorites or like just superheroes that who would win in a fight kind of. I don't know.
No, it's just it's favorite.
Okay, well, my number one all time, obviously, Batman. Growing up, I've always loved Batman. He's, I don't know. You say he's got mommy, daddy issues or whatever.
I'm just joking with you, dude. I know. I love Batman.
No, well, he really does. I mean, he even mentions it in the Justice League. He says when he's going over, how to, you would subdue the superheroes so that in case they go nuts or crazy or whatever, he actually goes in. He's like, you could bring up my parents' death, but so on and so forth. If you needed to neutralize me, but he also goes and is like use with anyway. But like I said, just growing up watching Batman, his fucking superior, what is it? I don't know what word I'm thinking here.
Continuity?
No.
I don't know.
I don't know. He's just like the all-time image of like the good guy. You never really. He's like incorruptible because he's a fucking multi-billionaire.
Yeah, I mean he's an icon. I think there's some heroes like Superman, Batman, and I would say even Spider-Man now, where they're superheroes, but they're like beyond that. They're like icons of pop culture. So.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, so that's like my... Well, it's not even like a pop culture thing. It's just like I said, growing up, I've always been a Batman fan. But my other favorite superhero when I was growing up, and probably still today, regardless of the movies or regardless of how you feel about the current actor playing him, but I've actually always been a Spider-Man fan. I love Spider-Man because, well... Yeah, he was bitten by a spider and got the little I can climb on walls powers and everything, but
that's the 60s, dude.
He's also got that same mentality. It's like do good and good things will happen, even though nothing good ever happens to Spider-Man and or Peter Parker. But he's still determined that he's one of those guys that's like good can happen or whatever or some shit. I don't know, but I've always liked Spider-Man. I grew up watching the animated cartoons.
Oh man, I love that.
Right? Number 3. I know a lot of people are going to look at me and be like, oh, you're such a, you're jumping on a bandwagon or whatever, but a Wolverine. Not even Hugh Jackman Wolverine. I'm talking Wolverine from X-Men, again, the animated series, and or from the comic books. With the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, with the well, at least the X-Men movies, they kind of, you should feel sorry for him and yada yada, and he's kind of like, oh, I hate everybody, but only because I don't know who I am. But in the comics and the cartoons, he's like, I don't know who I am, but fuck off.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I think in the comics, people used to think of Wolverine like, fuck it, I'm Wolverine, I'm going to chop your head off. He has that, but I don't think a lot of people realize that Wolverine's a pretty smart dude. He's been around for a long time. I mean, he's a pretty, complex character when you think about it.
He's like a Vietnam vet. I've seen some shit.
Yeah, I mean...
You wouldn't understand.
Wolverine's kind of like that cool older uncle that you always want to have. He's always hanging out with, Shadowcat and Jubilee, He's like, come on, kids, let's go have some fun. This recent comic issue, the recent issues of X-Men, he's actually the head of the school. And it's interesting, him being the leader and all the... Yeah, it's actually really interesting.
He's the leader of the school.
Of the Xavier Institute. It's actually kind of cool. I mean, he's a good teacher. He's
Xavier Institution.
Yeah, well, in the comic, we won't get into it. But basically, him and Cyclops had a falling out. Cyclops is like new Magneto. He's like, oh, fuck it, I'm tired of being the good boy. And Wolverine's like, dude, we need to teach the kids. This is a school. Let's do our shit. So, he took a bunch of the X-Men. They disbanded. I mean, they kind of broke apart after X-Men Schism, and he basically gets some of the kids. He gets Nightcrawler, Iceman, Firestarter, from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, the Fire Chick, Storm, and Beast, and a couple of other ones, but those are just some familiar ones that you guys might know. Yeah, and he just teaches the kids. They still do have X-Men adventures and stuff, but. He realizes, hey, these are kids, they're not soldiers. And I like that. He's still like, fuck you, I'm Wolverine, I'm gonna chop your head off. But, he
he'll still kick your
realizes,
ass.
I'm messed up, I want to be better,
He'll still kick your ass if you get in his face, but he's not, he is a little cuddly
Wolverine. Okay, Ryan, what's your number 4?
I thought that was number 4.
That's number 3.
Was that number 3?
Batman, Spider-Man, Wolverine.
And Wolverine. Okay. I don't know. I got a top 3. Does that count for anything?
Yeah.
I mean, there's other superheroes out there. There's a lot of them I liked. I mean, I could go on and on about which X-Men I liked and which one I didn't like. But or at least with the cartoon series and everything. I mean, I would say Superman, but again, the overpowered alien from Krypton that can only be beaten by a glowing green rock. I mean, yeah, whatever.
I mean, Superman's a cool character. I don't hate him. I feel that when he was made in the 40s, people didn't live as long. They're in the middle of World War II. You need a super guy that you can look up to. So I think he worked for the time period. I kind of feel like Superman had... I think over the years, they keep on making him more powerful and powerful. I mean, same thing with Wolverine, but with Wolverine's character, they still make him interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, okay, I can go with Superman as number 4.
Okay.
Number 5, Iron Man. And really, Iron Man should probably be up there number 3 or number 2 because he's basically Marvel's Batman. It's like, I have no superpowers, but I'm rich. So I'm gonna build it.
Oh.
But he's like also super fucking genius. So he can build himself an Iron Man suit.
I think what's cool about Iron Man, okay, guys, I love Stan Lee. I remember he was talking about how he made the character. Vietnam's happening. Everyone, most of the readers that read comic books were, not kind of like anti-war, not necessarily like, fuck the soldiers, but they're more of like, dude, why are we fighting people? We just need to stay out of business anyway. So he made Iron Man as this, okay, here's a guy that made weapons for the military, and then his weapons got stole from him. I mean, kind of in the movie, instead of Vietnam, it's Afghanistan now. So...
Same concept.
Yeah, the terrorists take the weapons, they kill a lot of people with his weapons. Tony Stark, he's in the cave, he builds a suit, he gets out. And when he's done, he realizes, I can't be a weapons dealer anymore. Even though that's just how I made all my money. Let me make suits, let me help people, let me be a superhero, and then he's in the Avengers, and he, always helping, saving the day. So, I mean, I think he's a deeper character than some people would say, oh, he's just Batman, except he wears a suit. But
well, he kind of is. I mean, if you look, the only difference is Batman's search for justice is the fact that his parents were shot in front of him, and I really need to research this a lot better. As a Batman nerd, you'd think I would know whether or not they caught the guy that shot his parents, but yeah, I mean that's his whole thing. It's like there are criminals out on the street. The fucking Gotham has gone to shit. I need to save it. I can do this. I can bring the city together. Yada yada yada. And Iron Man, the difference is, it wasn't until he was an adult and already a multi-billionaire super genius, and he was like, whatever. I'm a weapons manufacturer. That's all I do.
Uh-oh, we got a call, folks. Just kidding. That was my phone. Apologies. Go ahead,
Ryan.
Ryan.
I actually should have said something before we even started to turn our phones down or off or whatever. I don't know. I still didn't do that to mine. But anyway, so, the only difference between that is, Iron Man, like I said, he's already an adult. He's already a weapons manufacturer, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. Philanthropist?
Yeah, right.
Philanthropist? Whatever.
Good job, Ryan.
So, thank you. I learned a big word today. I picked Drew up from college.
Today's
so now
word
I learned
is philanthropist. Meaning someone that's rich that gives to charity because he can afford to.
Oh, wait. Look, I've got the internet. We can use this. But anyway, so he realized the error of what he was doing and how his weapons were getting sold on the black market. So he wanted to, go back and do some good and, make sure that his weapons were getting into the wrong hands. And basically stopped all manufacturing of his weapons, and in turn made the suits, so on and so forth. And like I said, that's the difference between him and Batman, but it's still basically the same concept. It's like, I'm a rich guy, and I want to fight injustice.
Well, actually, yeah. And he's a little bit more egotistical. I think Batman's a lot more humble, so, he's definitely the better human being.
Well, again... You got somebody who grew up his whole life, silver spoon in his mouth. Well, they both had a silver spoon in their mouth.
Right.
But Tony Stark's parents weren't shot in front of him. He didn't see, the kind of shit Batman saw until he was an adult. He actually has time to look into it, and it's like, oh, well, this is why my shit's fucked up, so I'm going to fix this. And he does.
Like I say, and I believe... Yeah, both of his parents are dead as well, but they didn't die until he was older. But anyway, you have a number 5, Ryan?
That was number 5.
Oh, that was number 5.
Yeah.
So go ahead and this is like a rundown what you had so far.
Well, my obvious number 1, Batman. Number 2, who did I go with? Number 2, Spider-Man. I should write this down beforehand. Number 3, the Wolverine. Wolverines! I'm sorry, anybody who's actually seen the original Red Dawn. Number 4, I kind of just threw Superman out there because I got nothing better. And then Iron Man.
Alright, guys. This is my top 5. You're going to laugh your head off.
Nobody cares about your top 5, so we're moving on.
Fuck you. Anyway.
Alright.
Anyway, so our top 3 are actually the same people, except in a different order.
So Batman's number 1.
No.
So Batman's number
Spider-Man.
So Batman's number 1.
Spider-Man is number 1.
No, I think you're wrong.
Spider-Man is number 1.
So Batman's number 1.
Alright, so he's writing down Spider-Man. Okay. So, I guess growing up as a kid, I really loved the Spider-Man cartoon. When I was like 10... When did the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man come out, Ryan? 2001, so...
Yeah, no.
Yes,
it's 2001, 2002.
Anyway.
Because it was...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was 2001.
Okay, so I would have been about 9 or 10. So, I watched the movie. Absolutely love it. Still a great movie. Better than that Amazing Spider-Man. Not saying I hate that one, but that's a different podcast. Anyway... I remember I watched that movie, watched the comics, loved Spider-Man, always thought he was a cool guy. And my aunt gave me a box set with the Spider-Man movie. It was like, back in the day when we had DVDs. I know some of you guys don't remember that. VHSs were going away, those old dinosaurs.
Mommy, what's a VHS?
Well, honey, it's what Mommy and Daddy used to use when we played with each other.
Remember what an MP3 is? Yeah, well, back in the day.
So anyway, it's this box set. It had the movie. It had a Stan Lee interview by Kevin Smith, which is cool. I talked about Spider-Man, all the other people he co-created. And they had a film strip, and they had a reprint of the original Amazing Fantasy 15, which was the first appearance of Spider-Man. And I remember reading it, and I was like, "Oh, Spider-Man! He's gonna swing through the city, have fun." And I didn't realize that how his uncle died. That he was a nerdy kid. He got bitten by a radioactive spider. Of course, this is the '60s, so. Radioactive, gamma rays, cosmic rays, pretty much that was the craze back then. Because we didn't know anything about it. Now we know things about it, so it's kind of a little hokey now. But anyway. So I read it, he gets bit, he gets his powers, he uses it to make money. And then there's the scene where the guy's like, "Nope, I'm not going to give you the money, Spider-Man." And Spider-Man's like, "Alright, I'm leaving." And then there's this robber that just robbed the manager that want to give him the money. and the manager says, "Stop him," and he's like, "No, you didn't pay me." And then later on that night, everyone knows it. We find out that Peter's Uncle Ben's been murdered, and he says, "I have these powers. I can stop him." So he chases, the killer to an abandoned tower or warehouse. I can't remember. I'm thinking of the Ramy movie, but it's very, very, very similar. And he takes off the mask and he realizes, holy crap, this is the guy I could have stopped. I could have stopped my uncle's murder. And at the end of the comic says, with great power comes great responsibility. And it just amazes me. It showed a guy that basically could have saved his uncle and he failed. And he lives with this guilt for the rest of his life. That's why he's like, I have to be Spider-Man. I have to save other people. Because, the people I save might be someone else's Uncle Ben, and I have to save him. And I also like that he's a nerdy teenager. Most of the time in the comics back then, it was you have to be the sidekick. And, with Spider-Man, he's not like... Basically, he's like a teenager or college kid, young adult. And, he has to somehow raise money, paying the rent. He has to worry about his old Aunt May and be a superhero. He has all these challenges he has to deal with. Where people like over at DC, where it's like like with Batman. I love Batman, but Batman has money. He doesn't worry about money, and I feel like Spider-Man is just a little bit more relatable to the average person. We worry about money. We worry about bills. We worry about those kind of things.
Speak for yourself. I'm a multi-billionaire too.
Whatever. But anyway, so that.
I'm a
that reason and more. That's why he's my number one, and then my number two is Wolverine. Oh my god, yeah, I love Wolverine X-Men. I remember that's like I said, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. X-Men's my favorite comic series. I love X-Men. I love the majority of them. There's some of them we try to forget.
Kind of like the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah, there's some Jar Jar Binks in there, and that's
no, there's not. No, there's not. There's no such thing as Jar Jar. There's no such thing as Jar Jar.
Miss want to be your friend, Ryan. Hey, one thing about Ben Affleck being cast as Batman, at least it's not Jar Jar.
It's like casting Jar Jar as Batman,
but it's not Jar Jar.
It's almost the same.
They could have gone, yeah. Having the actor play Jar Jar, it's like, how's the Batman? How's the super?
am the night.
All right, so
God,
Wolverine's
I'm gonna go kill myself now.
My number two. Well, like I said, I always like I was saying earlier, he always reminded me of that cool uncle that you have.
Let me tell you about the war.
I'm a sucker for older characters who have lived for a long time. They're trying to adjust to modern day. That's why I love Captain America too.
What's on your list?
I like the idea that he has this, animal instincts. He's ferocious. He has this anger, but he tries to be a better person. He works with the X-Men. Tries to, he had a kind of a shady past. He's trying to redeem himself. But Wolverine's the kind of guy. He always gets himself in trouble, makes things worse, but then sometimes he gets it better. So he always has that constant struggle of, I wanted to be a better guy, but because of the person I am, it's kind of hard to do that. And kind of what Ryan was saying earlier. So yeah, that's number two.
Then he's just a all-around badass. But anyway,
I'm the best at what I do, and what I do isn't nice. And you can thank Wolverine and Daredevil for making Batman cool. Anyway, that's a different story. Number 3.
I'm not the mutant the X-Men need. I'm the mutant they deserve. Wait, no.
Anyway, all right. Number 3 is Batman. I'm not going to talk about Batman. We already talked about
Number
Batman.
1 is Batman.
Like I said, parents died. Wants to make himself better.
Wants to make the world a better place, or at least Gotham City.
Anyway, Batman. My favorite DC superhero. I love all of his villains are awesome. His Bat family, Robin, Batgirl.
Okay, we don't talk about Robin too much.
Well, I guess it depends on which Robin. There's 4 of them, so pick which one. I like Dick Grayson. He's cool.
We'll go with Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson
and Tim Drake. Those 2 are cool. And, Jason Todd was kind of the fuck up of the family. He turned into... But anyway. Red Hood.
Yeah. I was going to say, which one died?
He did. But then he came back with the Lazarus Pit. Fuck. Nerd stuff.
Are you knocking Ra's al Ghul? He uses that Lazarus Pit like it's candy. Anyway,
so that's my number 3. Number 4.
Oh.
The Silver Surfer.
He's not even a superhero, I thought.
He is.
Whatever.
He counts.
Super naked
Whatever.
silver guy. Okay. And number 5.
All right,
I like Silver Surfer. And my number 5.
Because he flies through space and he's silver.
And he's totally tubular.
He's like Hang 10, Galactus. Anyway.
Gnarly.
I feel like the Silver Surfer is kind of like our generation's Superman. The reason I say that, I guess the whole idea of him being the Silver Surfer is he's like a scientist, Northern Rad. He lived in this planet Zenla, which was like super peaceful. Everybody got along, just like our Earth. Just kidding.
Fucking hippies.
Anyway, so he's on the planet Galactus, who he devours worlds. That's kind of like his job, and we're not going to get in Marvel hit, but basically, there's anyway, I don't want to talk about it. It's too complicated. We'll talk about that later. But basically, Galactus was gonna come to Zenla and eat the planet. Northern Rad said, "I love my people so much." He said, "Galactus, I know you're an unstoppable force." He says, "Can I do anything to persuade you to stop? Can I?" They basically said, "Take me. Don't worry about them." He says, "You're a big guy. It's hard to find planets. I can be your herald for you. Help you find other planets if you let my people go." Galactus says, "Awesome. I need help." So
let
Galactus,
my people go.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
Thanks, Moses. I mean, what's his name?
Anyway, so Galactus has a power called the Power Cosmic. That's what powers him. It basically space alien powers. So he gives a portion of that Power Cosmic to Silver Surfer, and he becomes the Herald. Galactus actually, pretty much mind wipes him so he doesn't remember about Zenla. And he goes to different planets. He goes to Earth, confronts the Fantastic Four, gets his memory back. And with the character Silver Surfer, he's kind of like this character that Stan Lee used, the comment on what was happening at the time in our society. He's like an outsider. So he comes in and he's like, okay, why are we treating these people? It's like, why are we treating our woman different? Why are we treating black people wrong? Different stuff like that. He's kind of like a soapbox kind of character, and he has different cosmic travels, goes different places. I'm obsessed with Star Wars, so I love space stuff. So I don't know, this cool philosopher kind of guy has powers. Anyway, number 5. Ryan's like, Drew, you're taking too long. All right, so my number 5. Shit, dude, there's so many good people.
So roll the dice, and if you get a 13, it's no.
Oh well, my dice are not in this room.
Where the hell's my 20? My D20. I'm just kidding, Drew. What's your number 5?
All right, well. Alright, I'm just going to throw out some honorable mentions real quick.
Oh my god.
Just kidding.
See, this is the problem with talking, nerd talk.
I like Rogue,
nerds.
I like Nightcrawler, I like Nightwing. Okay, Deadpool, alright. My number 5 is Thor. That is my number 5.
So you can't really count Deadpool. You mentioned Deadpool. You can't really count him as a hero of any type.
Nah. I just have to throw him out there.
I don't even know if he's technically even a villain. I think he's just whatever I want to do.
He's a jokester, man. He's more of those dude, give me money, I'll do whatever, and then he does goofy things.
You've got to be a fan of what is it? Text from Superheroes or whatever. Have you seen that shit?
No.
Fucking hilarious. got a few of them with Deadpool. Well, because Deadpool's hilarious in himself. One of them was talking. He's like pissed off, so he like sends a text to the Blob, and he's like, "Hey, you busy?" He's like, Blob's like, "No, why?" He's like, "I need you pissed off at this Chinese restaurant or whatever, yada yada yada." And he's like, "Oh, you want me to go and destroy it?" He's like, how much are you gonna pay?" He's like, "Yeah, $12.95 should cover the all-you-can-eat buffet." He's like, "You want me to go eat a place out of business?" Yeah. Well, why? It's like, they gave me a shitty fortune cookie.
I know. Deadpool is just an awesome character. He turned into like a parody of Deathstroke and all those.
I think he was a parody.
He is a parody. No, he was. Now he's kind of like his own little. He's kind of like a parody of comics superheroes. He's kind of like the Tick. If the Tick and Wolverine like mixed together with Spider-Man, that's how I imagine him. He does cracks like Spider-Man. He's doesn't make any sense like the Tick. And he kills people like Wolverine. That's how I describe Deadpool to people that don't read comics. Anyway, so
how the hell would they know anything about Spider-Man or Wolverine? Let me explain to you this comic book character that you've never heard of because you don't read comics. By describing other comic book heroes.
Right, everyone knows who Wolverine is because of the movies. Everyone knows who Spider-Man is because of the movies. So
whatever.
Anyway. So, Thor's number 5. I love Norse mythology. I love fantasy stuff. I love elves and all that. And Thor, he's cool. He does mythical adventures, you know. Once again, kind of like Superman, but done right.
Yeah, because, you know, he has weaknesses and stuff. He's actually...
No, he can die.
Well, yeah, Thor can. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's not... like Superman too much.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole idea of like Norse mythology, which Marvel took some stuff, it's different. But the whole idea of Norse mythology is like everybody dies. It's even the gods. So same thing with him. Anyway, so that's my top 5, and so how's the weather, Ryan? Just kidding. All right.
So how's the weather? Now,
it's my turn. It's your turn to bring up something, Ryan, because I already went.
Bring up something. Star Wars Episode 7. What are they doing with that?
Oh. I don't know anything about that.
No, seriously, does anybody know anything about the Star Wars Episode 7? I mean, because well, it's not a recent thing, but I've been trying to pick up the X-Wing series, which is novels that chronologically take place.
Expanded universe.
Yeah. It chronologically takes place after, Return of the Jedi. I mean, I've only got a couple of chapters into it. It's fairly decent, but because it's only really focusing on Rogue Squadron, which is the squadron that destroyed the Death Star twice.
Yes.
Yes. Release your hate.
Yeah, so
I mean,
Mr. J.J. Abrams is directing it. They're getting Lawrence Kasdan, who wrote Empire, which is arguably the best of the Star Wars movies. I don't know about Ryan. What's your favorite Star Wars movie, Ryan?
My favorite all-time Star Wars movie? I mean, there's only 3 to pick from,
okay.
But everybody, and I can't argue with everybody on this one, but everybody's favorite has always been Empire Strikes Back. Because, I mean, well, you get the first movie, which was a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking on the other 2 Star Wars movies. The only other 2 Star Wars movies. I'm not knocking on them at all.
Ryan doesn't like the prequels, guys.
There was no such thing. But the first one, New Hope.
Ryan, it's not the New Hope. It's just Star Wars.
I know it's just Star Wars, but they renamed it A New Hope.
No, I call it Star Wars.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Episode 4.
Okay.
It's story building. Here's Luke Skywalker. Here's his backstory. Here's what we know of Luke Skywalker thus far. He's a farm boy born on Tatooine, lives with his aunt and uncle, blah, blah, blah. These fucking droids just fall into their laps.
Guys.
It's kind of like, yeah.
Just kidding.
Uncle Owen! I mean Ben! I mean shit. Obi-Wan.
And who's Obi-Wan? Like Wolverine? You want to be a Jedi, kid?
With a cigar in his mouth. He's got lightsabers for claws. It's...
I'm the best at what I do. What I do isn't nice.
And what I do is the dark side. Anyway, but yeah, the first one is, like I said, it's basically story building. Here's our main characters. Here's what we know. Here's the Emperor, here's Darth Vader, here's Luke. Here's Han. Yeah, here's Han,
Chewie, R2-D2.
For the most part, Obi-Wan. Here's some useless droids that eventually become somewhat important. I'm sorry. Here's our useless droids that are comic relief. And so you got. That was the first Star Wars. Empire Strikes Back is we're thrown into the story. Everybody's backstory. Here's a little intro saying why they're on Hoth. Done. That's all you need. Into the fucking movie. People, battles, fighting, war. Explosions, boom, and it's called The Empire Strikes Back because after the damn rebels destroyed the Death Star, the Empire's going, we're fucking these bitches up. So they go, again, they find out the rebel base, they find Hoth, and yada, 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 and they're just basically dominating.
They take over Cloud City.
Yeah, and they're dominating the whole movie. You're looking at it as like, and it basically takes, Star Wars meaning of the first one, A New Hope, and kind of like shatters that hope. It's like, oh, we've got a new hope for the rebels, and then the Empire Strikes Back. So you're kind of like, what the hell? I mean, obviously, the very end, good always triumphs over evil, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, just the awesomeness of that. It's like, like I said, you're just thrown into the movie. You know the backstory because you saw the other movies. You don't have to explain anything. You don't have to get into it. And so it's like that is just what makes The Empire Strikes Back that much of a better movie. The
cool thing about Empire 2 is like I said, the first, any like film franchise or even a movie, even if it's just a movie and then its sequel, first movie sets up the movie and everything. Is the foundations. What Empire did was it filled in some pieces. It did some world building. It expanded it a little bit. We got Lando as a new character. Yoda's a new character. Boba Fett's a new character with the bounty hunters.
Well, they never really did backfill too much on Boba Fett.
But I'm saying, like, they introduced, hey, this universe has bounty hunters. Here's these guys. And then things that they kind of talk about at the beginning, we have Han Solo's like, Jabba the Hutt wants to kill me. And Boba Fett says, oh, I'm from Jabba, I'm gonna come get you. So, and
he
then
goes into cahoots with the Empire.
Yeah, and then what I love about that movie too is it's like the best cliffhanger. Spoiler alert. Oh, just kidding. I'm not gonna do my Darth Vader. That'd be kind of dorky. Not saying this whole entire, podcast has been dorky.
Yeah, this hasn't been dorky at all.
This has been very serious.
Very serious.
Or frat boys. Hey, Ryan, our team did the best. What do you think?
My sports team is better than your sports team.
We can talk about hockey, guys. That's my favorite sport, for real. Anyway, so...
No, seriously.
Seriously, I love it. Anyway,
well, that'll be a topic for another discussion one day.
Anyway, so Empire... Great movie, and like I did, introduced a lot of characters, and it showed that the good guys don't necessarily have to win. And we learned that Darth Vader is Luke's father. He gets his hand cut off. Han gets taken away, and that's the end of the movie. And then we have Return of the Jedi, which I think everyone loves the first three movies, the Holy Trinity, But I feel like out of the three, Return is like the least favorite, but that's it.
Well, yeah, it's because they threw in the what are they called?
Ewoks.
Yeah, they threw in the Ewoks.
Like the Ewoks.
A lot of people are like, "Oh, little cuddly teddy bears overthrowing the Empire." Blah 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 blah. It's like, yeah, okay,
they're vicious little things, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, and at the very end of the movie, it's like, oh, let's use the decapitated stormtrooper heads and make them as drums, and people are like, oh, isn't that cute?
Well, first of all, they don't have to be decapitated heads; those are just helmets.
Whatever.
There's no proof that there was a head in those helmets, you sick
Whatever,
fuck.
Ryan. I like my gritty version of it.
I like my warped version
My
better with
gritty
the blood
version.
dripping from the
Where it's
stormtroopers'
where it's
bodies.
dark, and you hear like the Hans Zimmer music, like bum 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 bum. I am your father. Dun 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 dun. No, bum 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 bum. Coming to theaters near you. Anyway, so
Anger, hate, dark side. Anyway, yeah, we're running a little late.
whatever. It
It's
doesn't
like
matter.
whatever. Yeah, we are actually talking, and this is. I mean, usually we actually get into more heated debates and discussions like this, but we'll try again,
So
maybe one day.
So for the last 10 minutes, folks, it's time for heated debate time. All right, Ryan, you get to pick the heated debate.
Well, first of all, I wanted to say philanthropist. The definition, as I'm looking here on
Okay.
Google's, a person who seeks
Is that
to
is that from
promote-
the Merriam-Webster?
doesn't give it's just Google.
Okay.
Fuck it. I don't care. It's Google. Type in philanthropist and definition, and you get a person who seeks to promote the welfare of others, especially by the generous donation of money to good causes.
What are synonyms, Ryan? Because
I'm not going into synonyms. I just wanted to get the
benefactor,
definition.
benefatress, patron, patroness, and others.
And now you can't read it. I just wanted to get that because we were talking about philanthropist earlier or whatever. I don't know. I think we should get into a heated debate maybe for our next podcast. And we'll see what we can come up with. I'm sure there's plenty of things that Drew and I disagree on. Obviously, we disagree with the, superior comic book. Drew's actually got comic book knowledge to back him up. Me, I've read the comic books, but I haven't read them all.
All right.
Like Drew has.
Marvel's better, guys.
Drew will sit here and fucking quote everything from any Marvel comic ever.
Well,
But knock on DC because all he ever reads is Batman.
I do. All right,
Just
let's. Like I said, disclaimer. I like DC, but I guess I'm one of those people. I need to find people that are not necessarily fanboys that would say, okay, you need to read this, this, and this. And I've actually expanded a little bit. I got Batman.
A buddy of mine.
I got Batman. Read a Nightwing. I got Talon, which is associated with Batman, but it's really it's kind of its own thing too. It's probably like one of the coolest
Which I'm
new
gonna be
characters.
borrowing to read later. Drew's got the talent thing here.
Dude, Talon's awesome, guys.
Of course, if it involves Batman, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read it.
It's like the Court of Owls stories that happen. It's basically here's one of them. He's renegade. Here's his adventures. That's it.
Adventure time. Oh. Okay, so
Regular show's better, Ryan.
son of a bitch. We're done.
I'll do my Mordecai impression, dude.
I'm gonna go with okay.
Whatever.
I've seen
Ryan.
like a few things of Adventure Time and a few things of regular show, and I'm just like, this is what kids are watching nowadays. Okay,
Dude, Adventure Time is definitely an adult cartoon.
right? Well, first of all, it's got Bender in it, so I can't remember the guy's name that does the voice.
Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio is a baseball player.
No, he's also a voice actor. They're not related.
Are you sure?
They might be related. I don't know. That's his name.
I'm gonna go with okay. I will look it up later and then argue with you and stuff. Yeah. But anyway, for a future podcast, I don't know. We'll come up with something. Something we always disagree on. I know there is. Obviously, our favorite TV shows. Maybe we'll get into that next podcast about our TV shows.
Doctor Who, guys. That's the best show. Oh,
No,
see,
Jersey Shore.
I almost went through a whole entire podcast without saying anything about Doctor Who. Gotta say it.
No, but Jersey Shore is my favorite. I love the GTL and what the fuck is that show about?
That show is about a bunch of crazy guys
Yeah, we're
and
not.
gals.
Nobody cares. We're gonna wrap this.
It's
up.
fun. It's a fun show to watch.
It's not.
It's comedy. It's comedy gold. It's like watching the Three
If you
Stooges.
absolutely have way too many brain cells that you don't know what to do with, by all fucking means, turn on a reality television show.
Ryan, what is the 2 plus 2? I can't remember. I lost that information by watching the Jersey Shore.
Have you seen my situation? That's 2 plus 2, baby.
Ryan, I don't know what's your situation. Ew.
All right, let's wrap this up. So this is the podcast. Look for us.
Okay.
Ottercast.
Ottercast. It's
Ottercast, starring Ryan and Drew, has been brought to you by this pen.
brought to you by Clicky Pens. Get all your clicky needs with Clicky Pens.
All right, but seriously, Facebook us, whatever. Farting Otter. Obviously, probably the only people listening to this are fans on Facebook, which is all like 12 of you, or the 10 people on my friends list who actually click on play. But anyway, if you haven't heard of us before, whatever, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on the YouTubes. I think I still have a Twitter for Farting.
And I was going to let you know, if you guys have any ideas about debate, or want to ask us any, like, nerdy questions or questions about life. Like, I can see one now. Dear Ryan and Drew, I'm
Dear
an impressionable young man. I need help.
I have a crush on this girl and I don't know how to talk to her. You walk up to her, you slap her in the face. No, I'm just kidding.
Call her say something naughty, and then say something nice.
Thanks, Mom. All right. Facebook, Twitters, YouTube, subscribe, blah, blah, blah.
Do we have an email?
I think I don't know. Just Facebook it.
Yeah, Facebook it.
We just Facebook.
All of our information is there.
Yes, to include my birthday, social security number, my mother's
And if you
maiden
like
name.
this, please. Oh, we're not. Never mind.
We're
We're on
gonna
YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah, we're YouTube.
Oh, we're YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, comment, subscribe,
Everybody says that, but nobody does.
and rate us. Because they still do the 5-star program.
Yeah, but honestly, rate us though. Well,
That-
I mean,
that's
I
not
don't
even
want
there
you to,
anymore.
I don't want somebody to leave a comment. Oh, this was so gay. That's not telling us what.
Hey, you can say it's gay.
I don't care if you think
just
it's gay.
say
I don't
why
care if you
it's
don't
gay.
like it. Just tell me why.
You can
don't just
say-
this was so gay.
No,
you guys are so stupid.
Right, no, they can say
Comment.
this was very gay. I had a very merry time listening to it. That's right, kids. That's what gay used to mean.
All right. Okay, we're done, and we will try to do this again. I want to try to make this a weekly thing, but we'll see what happens. All right. And closing statements? Nothing?
Ladies and gentlemen of the
Done!
jury.